Hey guys, welcome to this video. I'm Doug with Ice-9 Kits. We manufacture the fastest, easiest, and most profitable headlight restoration system in the world. And we're here to introduce and do a quick instructional video on the new Ice-9 Express system. The Ice-9 Express system is a one-use kit designed to do one set at a time. Just a quick caveat about headlight restoration in general is there is no kit out there that will restore every set of headlights. To restore every set of headlights, you're going to have someone that's highly skilled using power tools with multiple grits of sandpaper that's willing to spend an hour and a half on a set of headlights. And if you're running an auto repair shop, quick lube, tire shop, brake shop, that's way too time and labor intensive. But that's why the Ice-9 Express kit was invented. The Ice-9 kit is designed to restore about 70 to 80% of the headlights coming through your shop on a daily basis very quickly with super high profit margins. And so stay tuned. We're going to go do a quick instructional video, and between watching this video and reading the instructions on the back of the kit, anybody with no experience should be able to get going right off the bat and restore a set of headlights within about 10 minutes. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome to this Ice-9 Express instructional video. The first step is we're going to prepare the lens with the Ice-9 liquid sandpaper. You're going to squirt some of the green liquid sandpaper onto your magic sponge and begin to dab it on the surface of the lens. Create some foam. Let it sit as you're scrubbing it. This is going to begin to remove yellowing, the first layer of oxidation, and any dirt that's on there. And the liquid sandpaper is paint safe. However, you don't want to let it sit on the paint, and you don't want to let it sit on a bumper. Especially you don't want to let it dry. So as a rule of thumb, just keep a towel handy, and if you see it running onto paint or the bumper, you want to just go ahead and wipe it off immediately. And you want to just scrub that thing good. And then we're going to dry the lens off. The next step is we're going to sand the lens. Now, your kit comes with a 1,000, 2,000, and a 3,000 grit sponge. You're going to sand every light with each grit. Right here, I'm using the 1,000 grit, and I'm sanding lightly. Okay? So what you want to do before you start is to feel the edge, the surface of that lens with your hand. If it's smooth, if the light is already smooth, you want to use light pressure with the 1,000 grit sponge. If the surface of that lens is rough or it has clear coat peeling on it, you want to use medium pressure to sometimes firm pressure if it has clear coat peeling on it. But this step is dry every time. The subsequent grits will be sanded wet. Now we're going to wet the lens and start with the 2,000 grit sponge. You want to keep that lens wet, and you want to keep the sponge wet. And you're not going to sand in circles, and you're not going to sand up and down. You're always going to sand east and west horizontally, starting up on the top with short, fast strokes, working your way across the lens horizontally. Then you're going to drop down, overlapping your last pass by about 1/8 of an inch. Short, fast strokes, drop down, and repeat all the way down to the bottom of the lens. Make sure you keep your lens wet with your spray bottle and keep your sanding pad wet. Again, keep that lens wet. Now the final Sanding sponge, this is the 3000 grit. This is going to begin to polish the lens. It's still sanding the lens, but this is beginning to polish it too. So you want to keep that lens wet, keep the pad wet. And when you come to the 3000 grit sponge, you really want to spend a little bit more time with this sponge than you did the other two. It's going to refine the surface a little bit better, polish it up some more. So spend a little bit more time here. It's going to give you a better end result. And the last step here is we're going to take that magic sponge, get it very wet, get the lens wet, and we're going to sand the surface of the lens with this magic sponge. So that magic sponge is the equivalent of a very high grit sandpaper. So it's actually kind of emulating polishing the lens a little bit, if you will. Alternatively, at this step, you could, if you want to, polish it with some high quality fine plastic polish, which would even give it some more pop and give it a little bit more gloss, but that's optional and that's up to you. Then we're going to rinse and dry the lens. If you've got a blower in your shop or an air hose, you want to use that to blow all the lens out of the corner. Blow all the water out of the corners of the lens where it can get trapped. Dry it off. And now we're going to wipe that lens down with the alcohol swab. This just makes sure that the light is completely dry. It's going to remove any residual liquid sandpaper or water that might be on that lens. It's the final step of prepping it before we coat it with the Ice-9 glaze. And you notice I'm drying it again right before I apply the glaze. And we're going to take our applicator pad, fold it in quarters, and you're going to take that smooth edge, shake the bottle up, and you're going to apply the glaze to the smooth edge of your applicator pad. And you want to saturate it pretty well. You don't want it dripping, but you want plenty of glaze on there. It's better to have too much glaze than not enough. If you don't have enough glaze on your pad, it can actually cause streaking. If you get a run or some bubbles, it's very easy to smooth out. But the first thing we're going to do is go around the perimeter of the lens, like I'm doing here, being careful not to get it on the the trim or the paint. And you want to go kind of slow and use light to medium pressure. Too much pressure can cause streaking. So light to medium pressure, you want to go relatively slow, and you're going to recoat your lens as you need it. Add more glaze to it as you're going down the light as you need it. Again, better to have too much glaze than not enough on your pad. And we're working our way down horizontally all the way to the bottom. There we go. So at this point, this light will dry to the touch in about 10 minutes. However, you do not want to get it wet for at least 6 hours. Tell your customer not to drive it through the car wash or get it wet for 24 hours.